Today, my name's Raina Steffen. I'm the Public Information Officer for the Apache Junction Police Department. Today we're here to discuss an operation that we had a few weeks back called Stranger Things that consisted of juvenile sex crimes. And today we're going to have Chief of Police Mike Pooley from the Apache Junction Police Department speaking, and then afterwards we will have the County Attorney, Pinal County Attorney Brad Miller speaking, and then we will have the Apache Junction Police Commander Cindy Ewer speaking as well. And I'd like to invite Chief up.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys coming out. We're here to talk about a couple different things, and even though this operation happened over a month ago, the reason we're here is because you can never have enough reminders to parents, guardians, teachers, medical, anybody, that our juveniles, our youth, are our most precious commodity, and we have to protect them. This operation happened on January 10th, 11th, and 12th. We had a partnership with many different agencies and organizations, 13 in total, which included several law enforcement agencies from the Department of Public Safety, Mesa, Queen Creek, Gilbert, Chandler, several different departments, different organizations that really helped put this together. It was an operation that was led by one of our commanders, who you'll hear from shortly, that can give you more details on the exact operation. We made 14 arrests. One of the things that we had never done here in the city of Apache Junction is an operation to this scale. We didn't know really what we were going to expect. We knew that this is an issue not just here in our community, but it's an issue across the state and the country, where juveniles, our youth, are being targeted by predators, by people that are trying to lure them out for sex, for things that are getting them exposed to things they should never be exposed to, and it's horrible. So when we did this operation, we did not know what we were going to get. What we saw is that we had 14 individuals that were arrested that came in from out of our city, that came to us from distances as far as 50 miles away, just to come here to lure out a juvenile, in their mind, to be under the age of 14 years or younger. We were able to do this with grant funding through the Department of Public Safety. We are appreciative of that, because these types of operations, they do take funding, and we are able to use this funding for this type of operation. We're grateful for the community support. This type of support is incredible. With the Pinal County Attorney's Office has been incredible for us, because they are the ones that carry this case forward to make sure that these individuals are handled appropriately. Again, this is a reminder to all of our community members that live here in the city of Apache Junction in the state of Arizona, that when something like this happens, it doesn't matter where you live. There are law enforcement agencies across the country and across the state that are being actively aggressive in these types of enforcement operations. I'm proud of the operation we did, and we'll answer questions here in a minute, but I'm going to turn it over to our Pinal County Attorney, Brad Miller.
Thank you so much. Again, I'd like to voice thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I think there's a lot of congratulations, and this operation is extremely important to highlight the collaborative nature of this entire operation, not only with the Apache Junction Police Department, but with folks from my office. I would like to say a special shout out to a couple of individuals from my office, my head of my Major Crimes Bureau, Bill Wallace, and another attorney who has been assisting us for a number of years handling and prosecuting dangerous crimes against children, and that's Lauren Deacon. So thank you so much, both of you, for being here also. Operations like this highlight the need of collaborative partners to go after the most dangerous individuals in our communities. And that's exactly what has been done here. Of these 14 individuals, they are all and have been brought up on charges. One individual is on an ICE detainer. We've received that question from a number of people in the community. And so with that, we're able to take those individuals off the street. Here's another reason why we're up here speaking today, nearly a month later, is not only have these individuals been charged with crimes, but we're here to highlight another issue, is that luring children, if an undercover officer lures individuals looking for children, That is a probation-eligible crime here in Arizona. Now, I want to say that again, a probation-eligible crime. I think most people in our community would be shocked and appalled that we cannot hold these individuals accountable. And this is why we have assisted Senator Shamp and have a bill that currently went through the Senate that will be going to the House here in a couple of weeks to change the definition of dangerous crime against children to include that an undercover police officer can act as that lure so that we can charge these individuals with felonies and properly put them into prison. Now, I come to you not only as your Pinal County attorney, but also a father of 4. And I hope for the day, and hopefully we have many more of these operations, but I hope for the day that we can eradicate this type of crime from our community. So with that, I will turn over to Commander Ewer, who actually ran this operation. It was fantastic, and we appreciate her support and her guidance and her leadership in this.
Thank you. My name is Cindy Ewer. I apologize for the hoarse voice. I'm getting over a sickness. So I'm the commander over the Criminal Investigations Division here in the city of Apache Junction. We conducted this operation the first week of January with the intent to hopefully have 0 people show up. We were hoping that we would go out there and we would act as police or act as children online on social media, and that we would have nobody who would engage in sexual conversations with children online. However, we did have 14 individuals show up those 2 days, allowing us to charge over 49 felonies for acts of criminal exploitation of our children for sexual motivation. So I just want to highlight that not only are engaging in conversations with these children inappropriate, but they're also illegal. And it's important that we talk about some of the statistics that came from this operation. And while I said we had 14, I want to make sure that you're all aware that all of our subjects that arrived those 2 days were male, between the ages of 23 and 59 years of age. We don't know too much about their occupations, but just to show you that these are everyday people that are interacting in our community, I do want to highlight that one of them was a military veteran, one of them was a youth sports coach, and many of them have children at home that they are raising on their own, either young ages or the same ages of those children that they were coming to Apache Junction to have sexual contact with. So that kind of puts in perspective a little bit of the people that we're talking to. It's not somebody who's sitting in their house that doesn't go out into the community. It could be somebody sitting next to you at the movie theater, somebody in the car next to you. So this is kind of a crime that spreads across all types of communities because of the easiness of social media online. I want to talk about one case in particular where we had a subject show up. He actually was late to our meeting because he had to clean out the back of his SUV so that he could make a makeshift bed in the back of his vehicle so that when he showed up to the park, he could engage in sexual relations with a child that was 14 years of age. I bring that up because it doesn't just show that these people are showing up just to show up. They're actually planning this out. He brought alcohol with him to facilitate to that child, also was armed with a handgun. So if this had been a real child that this subject had encountered, we don't know what could have happened. If that child would have been kidnapped, possibly hurt, or even murdered for all we know. So I bring that up because that shows a little bit of graphic detail of the kind of subjects that are out there engaging in these conversations with our children. Some of them showed up with drugs. Some of them showed up with snacks for our kids. Some of them showed up with toys. So this isn't something where somebody just finds somebody online and they choose to show up. They're going to the store, they're buying products to give to our children, narcotics, alcohol, and with the intent to have sexual contact with these children. Some of them came just for sexual gratification, but some of them also came for exchange of money. They're offering children money online so that they can have sex with them in person, and that way these children can make cash. So I bring that up as parents to keep an eye on your children's social media, interact with your kids, find out what they're doing on a daily basis, look at their social media. I've got some examples up here of some, not all of them because there's lots out there, some online applications that your children are engaging with where people are posing as somebody who's 18 and over to have sex with children or minors under the age of 18. Some of our subjects came to have sex with children as young as 7 years old. 7 years old, that puts you about first, second grade. So if you think of an age of a child at 7 years old, you're online having conversations with somebody. This is inappropriate conversations that shouldn't be had by any child, let alone a 7-year-old. So I bring that up just as a reminder that also who you're talking to online may not be a child, it may be a police officer. And no point did we use any children in this operation. We used all undercover police officers that were posing as children. I'd like to take a moment to reflect on the incredible work that my detectives did during the course of this investigation. Not only did they spend hours combing through inappropriate, horrific online conversations with these individuals, but they were looking through cell phone data, which also shows sexually explicit children images on some of the subject's cell phones. And so it takes a lot of work and dedication, and at the end of the night when the operation is over, they're still going through data, they're collecting it, submitting it for prosecution, testifying, collecting evidence, and this hard work does not go unnoticed. Lastly, I'd like to take a moment to talk to the community that if you are out there engaging in conversations with a child right now online that you believe is under the age of 18, my recommendation is that you need to stop that conversation immediately, because not only is it inappropriate, it's illegal, and we have online officers that are out there looking to prosecute people that are engaged in this activity. Thank you.
Are there any questions for any of us? Any questions for any of us? Yes, ma'am.
You said this started, or that it took place in January. What is it, can you explain the process of preparing for something like this? I don't know if that's for you, but.
Yeah, Commander, you were.
When kind of the preparations began for this operation?
Sure, so we started having the conversations early 2024 about this operation because we hadn't had one before. It took a lot of extra effort reaching out to other agencies that had experience. That's why our partnerships with the other agencies are so important, because they have teams that are used to doing this activity and that they can kind of help coach us. So we brought in different teams, detectives, analysts, all kinds of stuff from the other agencies to really bolster our experience because we didn't have much. It's imperative that we work with our non-government organizations to help Arizona Anti-Trafficking Network, Dark Horse, but other places or other organizations help with this activity, but really we can't do it alone. We have to rely on those other agencies and the other entities that have experience in this. And obviously we're gonna move forward with continuing with these type of operations now that we have the experience, but really planning to make sure we have enough detectives. We have the Pinal County Attorney's Office on board right from the very beginning so that we knew when we went to prosecute these cases, we would have successful prosecutions. It's really a team effort, and it took 6 to 9 months, but we could definitely do it much faster now that we have some experience.
Question for the county attorney. Can you go into a little bit more detail about the one person that was detained or arrested and then turned over to ICE?
Yeah. Specifically about the acts, is that what you're asking me?
About that person, the act, and then also about how that came about that person was turned over to ICE, how that came about.
So as part of our general booking process, certain biographical information and questions are being asked. That's part of our standard operating procedure. And through that standard operating procedure, we discovered that this individual was not a citizen of the United States. At that point, that individual was turned over to immigration services. So that's kind of how that process leads. Are there any more details I could potentially provide? I will say this, is I agree with Commander Ewer, this really is a collaborative effort. The team that we have at the Pinal County Attorney's Office, to me, is one of the best in the entire state and probably one of the best in the country, and we thank them very much. These types of operations, just like Commander Ewer said, is not something that is going to end today. This is something that we're going to continue with. That's why at the Pinal County Attorney's Office, we are actually starting and spearheading a brand new special victims unit to deal specifically with these cases in the community. That unit will consist of trained individuals, officers, county attorneys, and other individuals to assist so that, again, I can reiterate, that we can attempt to eradicate this type of behavior from our community. It endangers the entire community, it endangers our children, it endangers our officers, and this is something that we need to stop. And we believe with this new special victims unit that we can stop this and attempt to eradicate this type of behavior.
The individuals that were arrested outside of the illegal immigrant, were they residents of the county or did they come from other areas around?
So Commander Ure can talk specifically about those, but as was mentioned, most of these came from outside the county and came in the county, but we believe that they're Arizona residents. Yes.
Did any of them have priors? Were you familiar with any of them?
It's a little bit touchy to discuss some of this stuff, but from what we saw, nobody had any illegible priors, something that we could actually allege in when we actually went to indict them. Yes. Yes.
Talk a little more about the exact charges that these individuals
Sure.
were charged with?
Yeah, and this will highlight kind of my point that we need a change in the law. So some of the charges, I'll highlight some of them. Attempt to commit sexual conduct with a minor, sexual exploitation of a minor, which is known to most people as like a child porn charge, where you're passing photos. But most of these charges relate to luring. And so luring is one of those charges where a person is trying to lure a minor for sexual purposes. That's the issue that we're trying to address at the state legislature right now. And we hope and beg that Governor Hobbs will sign this into law. Because recently we had a change in the law where a luring charge, and if it involved an undercover officer, cannot be charged as what's called a dangerous crime against children under 13705. It can only be charged as a regular felony offense. And like I said, I think most people that I've spoken to would be shocked by that type of thing. And so what we're trying to do is align the law with, I believe, the needs of the community and the desires of the community, that these types of charges be charged as a dangerous crime against children, because that's truly what they are, a dangerous crime against children. Some of the other charges, we can talk about providing obscene material to a minor, and then of course, child sex trafficking, which is probably the top charge that we saw in any of our cases. And that charge in particular actually carries a life sentence. So there were a couple of those. Any other questions? Yeah, keep going. Sure.
How big of an issue is this? I mean, there might be parents obviously watching this and saying, obviously this is horrific what these individuals are doing, but maybe they're a bit naive as to their thinking that their child would never get involved in something like this. I mean, how big of an issue is this? What do you want parents and people in this community to know?
So the question was, how big of an issue is this? It is a issue that is plaguing our entire country and here in the state of Arizona, as well as here in our own county, Pinal County. I think most parents, most adults would be shocked at the amount of cases that go unnoticed. This is only a handful of things that we were able to identify. Again, a lot of these suspects, they're your everyday average person. They are not violent criminals out there that you would see in a movie or in what you would picture as. These are men that blend in at community events, that may go to church, that may have their own families. These are men that are dangerous individuals that are targeting children for one reason, for self-gratification. They have no other concern about anybody else except for themselves. And that's what we're trying to fight against. So to answer your question, it is a problem. It's a problem that we've been combating not only here in Pinal County, but across the state. We've been involved in these types of operations throughout the East Valley, throughout the Phoenix metro area. And every time we do these operations, there is always people that answer the call, every single time. If you do it on a weekend, on an early morning, on a Monday morning, there are individuals that are out there trying to find this juvenile that's going to be involved. Thank you. All right, I think that's it. Thank you guys for coming out.
Thank you.